of the Toyota Racing Series saw 3 winners from 3 races. But the biggest action happened at Race 3's start as England's Alex Lynn going for a wild ride after tangling with Felix Sorellis at turn 1. All the cars were repaired, the drivers have recovered after some R&R at tourist hotspot Queenstown before they head north to Timaru for round 2. 18 drivers, 14 countries. This is the Toyota Racing Series. Situated in South Canterbury Province, Timaru District is the home to 42,000 people, surrounded by the prosperous agricultural area which includes sheep dairy and cropping. Caroline Bay Beach is a popular recreational area located close to Timaru's town centre, just to the north of the substantial port facilities. Just north of the town is Richard Pearse Airport, named after the aviation pioneer who made New Zealand's first powered flight in 1904. And next to the airport is Timaru International Raceway, an FIA Grade 3 track run by the South Canterbury Car Club and the home to round 2 of the Toyota Racing Series. The 2013 season got off to a great start at round 1 in Invercargill for Austrian driver Lucas Auer, who powered away from pole position and pulled to a 2.5 second lead over defending champion Nick Cassidy. The top 6 from race 1 started in reverse order for Sunday's race 2. So it was young Brazilian Pipo Derani, who started on pole. Fellow Brazilian Bruno Bonifacio, who crept past his grid box at the start, so ran with a 10-second penalty. And that gave Derani the break he needed to take his first victory, while behind him was Puerto Rico's Felix Sorellis, ahead of Englishman Alex Lynn. In race 3, it was Lynn and Sorellis who would provide the first real drama of the series. After an early safety car, both were challenging for the lead when it all went wrong for Lynn.
Sorellis under massive pressure now, and here comes Alex Lynn. They're side by side, almost touching on the new touch, and both go off. Oh, that's a big off from Felix Sorellis and Alex Lynn.
Amazingly, Sorellis was able to keep going, and after a red flag, he started once again from pole. But this time he made sure of the win, heading home Lucas Auer. Third across the line, rookie Stijn Sjohorst of the Netherlands. So after 3 races, Felix Sorellis leads by 5 points over Lucas Auer. Pipo Derani is third on 169, Nick Cassidy is fourth, and Bonifacio and our leading rookie Stijn Sjohorst. With fine weather forecast for the weekend, the Timaru International Raceway was looking at its best for the Toyota Racing Series. The 2.4-kilometre track starts almost immediately with a right-hand turn followed by a left-hand loop. This can get pretty congested at the start, and it's easy to lose time here if you get offline in traffic. The long back straight leads to a blind, fast left-hander that has a late apex. This leads to a slower, long left-hand loop, with passing opportunities on the way in. It's a slow approach to the right-hand hairpin before acceleration hard through the right-hander and onto the approach of the short front straight. Friday testing for the TRS car saw plenty of action with Bruno Bonifacio, Damon Leach and Spike Goddard all coming to grief at turn 4 off the end of the main straight. Crews with a long night of work to repair the cars. In the first 15-minute qualifying session, Alex Lynn was the early pace setter, putting in a 57.974 lap. Felix Sorellis responded a lap later with a 57.94. Lucas Auer stayed in the pits for the first 5 minutes of the session. But when he went out, it took him just 5 laps to post the fastest time of 57.751. Nick Cassidy responded with a 57.838 a lap later. Bonifacio did a 57.839 late in the session to slot into third, just 0.04 in front of Damon Leach. Then Lucas Auer made sure of his pole with his last lap with a stunning 57.538, half a second below the lap record pace. After just 5 minutes, during which no refueling was allowed, session 2 started, with the result deciding the race 3 grid. Auer just took 4 laps to post a 57.323, taking another 0.26 seconds off his Q1 best. Alex Lynn got within 0.1 seconds a lap later, and Bonifacio once again was just 0.002 off second place. Felix Sorellis did a 57.51 early in the session, and that proved to be his best. Pippo Durrani brought out the red flag with 5 minutes to go, putting pressure on defending champion Nick Cassidy, who was yet to post a competitive time. Cassidy went out on green and with just 2 minutes left in the session could only post 9th fastest of 57.795. Then Jan Mardenborough crashed, bringing the session to an early end. So Lucas Auer would once again start from pole.
Nick, race 1 P2, really the best place to be?
Nah, not really. We're fastest all weekend, wet, dry, whatever. We're fastest, and then come qualifying, we didn't get it together.
I think we did a very good job. I mean, it's quite hot and the track is in quite good conditions, but yeah.
P1 here though is a dirty line. Are you worried about that?
No, I'm not worried.
Coming up after the break, meet the travelling workshop that keeps the TRS series on the track, and all the action from race 1 from round 2 of the Toyota Racing Series. Crashes are inevitable in a close-fought series like TRS, and the teams are kept busy during the events, keeping the cars on track and ready to race. Behind the scenes, the Toyota Racing Series management provide a fully kitted mobile workshop, carrying all the spares for the series.
You know, we do a lot of on-road repairs, carbon fibre repairs, got our own dedicated department for that. And obviously all the parts that we need, just like a Toyota dealership, we carry them in the front of the truck. So yeah, we're very self-sufficient. We have our stock on board here, which is quite significant, and then Toyota New Zealand carry all the balance of the stock. So it comes out of their parts warehouse onto post-haste carriers and on its way to us wherever we might be, Teretonga, Timaru.
Even carbon fibre repairs are carried out on the road with the use of this home-built bake oven.
When we're on the road, we have to repair the carbon fibre, quite big items sometimes. So we've got all our glues and resins and all of that sort of stuff on board here, and our own guys that can do the job. So often it's done overnight. We have a makeshift oven to be able to cure all the carbon, because it's obviously needs curing, and the glue. And it's a lot like being an America's Cup team, which a lot of people are familiar with, I guess. They do a lot of on-site repair and around the world yachts, that sort of thing. That's what we're quite similar with in ways, yeah.
So, all the cars repaired and ready for race 1. Let's check out the grid. On pole, Lucas Auer. Alongside him, the champion, Nick Cassidy. Bruno Bonifacio is third, and beside him, New Zealand's Damon Leach. On row 3, it's rookies Stijn Schuhorst and Felix Sorellis. On row 4, it's Alex Lynn and Pippo Durrani. Canada's Nicholas Latifi is on row 5, and 9th alongside him is Jan Mardenborough of Great Britain. On row 6, it's Akash Nandi of Malaysia, and alongside him is Thailand's Tanat Satyendra. Then it's Tatiana Calderon and Spike Goddard, Andrew Tang and Dennis Olsen on row 8, and the rookies Michael Scott and Ryan Cullen.
So then, the start of race 1, Timaru. The revs go up. The lights go out, and away goes Lucas Auer from pole, trying to defend his position. Good start from Nick Cassidy. It's a run towards the first corner, but it's Lucas Auer who holds on to take the lead ahead of the champion Nick Cassidy. Good clean start. Bonifacio still right there in the hunt. Everybody cleanly through. At the back end of the field, Spike Goddard and number 22, Andrew Tang of Singapore, battling it out. Good start by Stijn Schuhorst. He's up to 4th position and got ahead of Damon Leach, in fact. And that's a good start from the young Dutchman. On board now with 2nd place Nick Cassidy. And this is an important race for the champion. He hasn't qualified well for the feature race, just as happened in Tonga, as we go back on board now with Akash Nandi. The young Malaysian, just 16 years of age, battling for 10th place. He looks up the inside of Jan Mandabara of Great Britain, touches there, and they off to the grass. And Akash Nandi in trouble already early on the grass, but he'll recover from that. He just touched the Welshman from behind, and that was enough to upset him onto the rumble strips and over the curbs there heavily. Whilst Lucas Auer really using all the track as we go on board with the Brazilian Bruno Bonifacio. Damon Leach now under pressure from Felix Sorellas, the Puerto Rican, looking for a way past. But that's the nature of this circuit. It's so narrow, very bumpy, and Damon Leach just needs to defend that position. You can see Sorellas desperate to get past, and in comes the number 29, Akash Nandi, the Malaysian from E-Tech, will get his mechanics to work as quickly as they can. And the worst part about it is he came together with his teammate. Sorellas putting the pressure on. Frantic work going on the suspension then of Nandi. Will they get him out in time? I'm sure they will. They replace the nose cone. Here comes Alex Lynn in the number 36 for Great Britain, locking up the right-hand side. Up the inside is Latifi of Canada, looking to try and get past Pippo Durrani. Already a winner, Durrani, the number 6 from Brazil. So a good, clean start to this one. And everybody looking for a way past on this very, very narrow Timaru circuit. The 4th race of 15 here in the 2013 Toyota Racing Series. A good start by Lucas Auer. Already had 1 win under his belt as we go on board now with Bruno Bonifacio. He too, like Lucas Auer, returning to the championship, knows the circuits well. That's why he's out front in 3rd at the moment and vying for another podium. Nick Cassidy, as we said earlier, has to go well. A slight lock up there, under pressure from Bonifacio. It's close at the front. Nick Cassidy, of course, the most experienced of all, runner-up a couple of years ago, champion last year, swapped teams from Giles Motorsport to M2 competition this season. I still think he's learning to gel with this team early on in the 2013 series. He's fast, he always is, but he's had some woes in qualifying and it's put him back for the feature race, and that's why this one has to count. Another New Zealander, another Kiwi under big pressure, the number 3 under massive pressure from Felix Sorellas, the man leading the championship at the moment. Sorellas desperate to get on level terms now with Lucas Auer, who's running away with this race early on. And Sorellas senses, he tries to look round the outside, but if he can get past Damon Leach, and that's not an easy thing to do, and you can see they're almost queuing up behind Leach. Several drivers all trying to get past now in the early stages of this one, but Leach is quietly confident. He won't be put under pressure like this. He won't make mistakes just because people are behind him. But I always think that's the hardest part of any racing driver's job, is to be looking in the mirrors and still trying to be getting the best out of the car, hitting your marks, getting the apexes right, but under enormous pressure. And that's exactly what's happening with Damon Leach at the moment. You can see how much Sorellas is pushing him. And right behind him, Alex Lynn. We saw him locking up earlier. Alex Lynn involved in that massive crash at Tonga, but walked away completely unhurt and unscathed. It definitely shook him a little bit, but they quickly rebuilt the car, as you've seen. They've got complete mobile unit for rebuilding cars here, so also some test crashes going on in the wet earlier in the weekend. Turn 4 turning out to be the place where everybody seemingly getting into trouble. Talking of into trouble, Bonifacio ever closer now to Nick Cassidy, as Lucas Auer is starting to, as they cross the line now, this is 2nd versus 3rd, and Lucas Auer is already further up the road as they go into turn 1. Next, it's the 3rd, down to 2nd gear, turn 2, back up to 3rd gear on the long back straight now. This is the straight leading up to turn 4, and you'll see it's a fast left-hander. A lot of left-handers on this circuit. Here we go. Cassidy. Staying Shahor, still in 4th place. He got ahead of Leach early on. And this is a good start by the Dutchman. Shahor, still a very, very young competitor. Only 19 years of age, but then again, the man we're looking at now, Nick Cassidy, only 18. He's just got so much experience, going all the way back to midget racing where he was champion here in New Zealand. He's raced pretty much everything there is to race in New Zealand, including V8s. On board now with number 43 from Thailand, Tanat Satyan Karakul. And he's under pressure, actually, from the only female driver in the pack this year, Tatiana Calderon of Colombia. These two battling it out for 10th position as they cross the line again and into turn 1 as we go on board with the Singer-sponsored man. Second year in the championship, 14th last year, and still learning his way. First came across him in the Asian Championship. Calderon with experience in the United States. In fact, she's the only Mazda Series entry to score a podium in the USA. So she's already hit some big accolades and of course has raced in Formula 3 as so many have or will do this season in this class. And it really is the strongest field we've had in the 9 seasons of the Toyota Racing Series. So many of these graduating from these 15 races as Tatiana locks up. And that was just Tanit who locked up first and she had nowhere to go. And just to avoid him, she locked up. And somehow both of them remain unscathed. That was good driving by the Colombian. And she held on there because she wasn't quite sure what was going to happen to Tanit and quite rightly had to put on the anchors and make sure she didn't bang straight into him and take them both out. So good driving, good defensive driving by the Colombian. And they live to fight again. Number 6 goes through. That's Pippo Durrani. Winner, of course. Surprise winner, really, the rookie. His first time in the championship. Under pressure as a lock-up then by the number 18. That's Latifi of Canada. Only just out of karting in the States, Latifi. Won in the Skip Barber Winter Series, Formula 2000. Alex Lynn, an accomplished Formula 3 driver. He too will be going back to Great Britain. Alex Lynn and Lucas Auer going to be driving for Prima Motorsport in Europe next year in Formula 3. One of the top teams in Europe, and that's a big, big news story. Two of the top young guns on the way up, Alex Lynn and Lucas Auer, teammates next year. And just to remind you, we started the day with Felix Cireles of Puerto Rico leading the championship by 5 points for Giles Motorsport, but it's his teammate, Lucas Auer, who's stolen a march here in Timaru in race 1. Some 4 seconds ahead of this man, Nick Cassidy, who's going to come home in second place, and that's a good, strong finish for Cassidy. He locks up the right again, flat spotting the front right again, and just trying to hold off Bonifacio in the closing stages of this. Cassidy started 4th on the day for M2 competition. Good finish for him as we head to the last lap. What a race it's been for Lucas Auer. Lucas Auer, who got a couple of podiums last year and a few pole positions but didn't win, and he's already won at Teretonga, and it looks as though he's headed to win again here in Timaru, on board with Bonifacio as he tries to hunt down Nick Cassidy, but it's not going to happen. And Lucas Auer in the number 11 is going to cruise home, and he'll now lead the championship. Last year he was 6th overall with those 2 pole positions. And as we mentioned, he's already signed for Formula 3 and Prima Power. Had a long chat with him, and he's not getting too excited about his start here in New Zealand because he knows it's all about consistency. And so far he's been Mr. Consistent. Another immaculate performance as he comes out of the last corner. Lucas Auer waves his hand in the air to greet his team for his 2nd victory of 2013 here in New Zealand. Congratulations to the number 11 Austrian.
So Lucas Auer dominant in race 1 with a 4-second margin to Nick Cassidy. Bruno Bonifacio just half a second further back. A strong result for Stijn Schehorst in 4th, keeping ahead of our 2nd New Zealand driver, Damon Leach. Cireles, Lynn, Durrani and Latifi unable to improve on their qualifying positions. Jan Mardenborough rounds out the top 10.
It's easier when the car is so good, you can stay consistent, and I'm really happy how the race went.
Yeah, that was it. Just a little bit of a better start. Not good enough. Lucas did a very, very good job. Was 2nd on the opening lap and stayed there for 16 laps, whatever it was.
It was quite tough because I think we had a good potential, we had a good pace, but unfortunately in this track you don't have many overtake opportunities without taking a risk. So I didn't want to take the risk, and also honestly I didn't have the opportunity to really attack Cassidy. It was hard to get any closer, but I think it's good to recover in the championship now.
I could in the beginning keep up quite well with the number 2 and 3, but Lucas was just, I could see him just flying away. It was unbelievable.
Coming up, we meet a rising star and who are the rookies of the TRS series, plus all the action from race 2 at Timaru. This is Lucas Auer's second season in the Toyota Racing Series. The 18-year-old Austrian made an immediate impact at round 1 with pole position and a win in race 1.
I've been racing in the German F3. I got 5th champion there and rookie champion, so it was a successful year for me. Now we'll see this year. No, it's a very strong field. There are drivers, not only F3 drivers, but from all over, young talents, experienced driver. That's hard, and that makes the DRS series strong.
Also from Europe, 18-year-old Stijn Horst only began racing cars in 2010.
I started racing really when I was about 15 years old. I didn't do much go-karting, like 2 years of national championships, and then I went into the Suzuki Swift Cup at the age of 15. I drove 1 year in that class, and I learned a lot about racing and everything around it. And then when I was 16, I started in single-seaters. I drove Formula Fords in the Netherlands and some rounds in the UK. And then last year I did Formula Renault, the NEC Championship, and some Eurocup rounds. And now I'm here. The hardest thing about coming to New Zealand is probably the new tracks. They're quite small, but they're still technical. So it's all these little tricks and stuff that you need to know when you arrive to the track to be fast, to be really fast. I mean, you can get close, but if you know those tricks, you can be just a bit faster.
Norway is better known for its rally drivers, but 16-year-old Dennis Olsen comes to TRS after racing karts in Germany, where he won the championship in 2012.
I've been racing karting for quite many years in Europe. I did KF2 last year and did all the European rounds, European Championship, World Championship, WSK. And yeah, that's it. The German Championship as well, which I won this year, so it was very good. I came to New Zealand because I had to get started with Formula racing as early as possible, and not only test but to race, which is really important. And this is a really good championship with very good competitors, very many Formula 3 experienced drivers. So yeah, it's going to be a good championship further now.
And finally, from across the Atlantic, Nicholas Latifi, the first Canadian to contest in the series. He comes here after a successful season racing in Italian Formula 3.
I think the biggest challenge would have to be just learning a new car. I'm sure many of the other drivers are in the same boat. Many are returning drivers. So yeah, just learning a new car, obviously all new tracks, just there's a whole adaptation period, phase that you have to go through. So I think that's it.
Once again, Race 1 winner Lucas Auer gets to draw to decide how many cars will start in reverse order for Race 2. 6 again. So that puts Felix Sorellis on pole with Damon Leach second on the grid. Behind them, rookie Stijn Horst and Bruno Bonifacio. On row 3, it's Nick Cassidy and Race 1 winner Lucas Auer. Row 4 sees Alex Lynn alongside Pippo Durrani. On row 5 from Canada, Nicholas Latifi, and alongside him from Wales, Jan Mardenborough. Then it's Thailand's Satyam Terakul on row 6, and alongside the only female competitor, Tatiana Calderon. On row 7 from Australia, Spike Goddard and Norway's Dennis Olsen. Kiwi Michael Scott on row 8 beside Ryan Cullen. And off at the back of the grid, Andrew Tang and Akash Nandi.
Top 6 reverse then for race 2. That means Felix Sorellis will lead them away. Out go the lights, away they go. Good start by the leaders. Damon Leach in second place will chase him down to the first corner. Sorellis, though, holds on to take the lead at race 2 in Timaru. And, whoa, really pushing it hard, Leach. Horst dives into third place. Good start by the Dutchman. Bruno Bonifacio in fourth, Cassidy fifth. Auer, the winner of race 1, is in sixth place. No change at the start of this one. But already Lucas Auer looking for a way past the champion Nick Cassidy as they dive in to the long loop 4. Lucas Auer, number 11, all over Cassidy in the number 1. Beautiful conditions, about 24 degrees, 25 degrees at the moment. Perfect for racing. And every point, every race counts here in this 15-race championship. Identical cars, 215 brake horsepower, Toyota engines, slicks and wings for many, the first time in this kind of racing. Not for Damon Leach, though. Bags of experience for the New Zealander from Invercargill. Already raced at home in the South Island. This, the second race in the South Island before we head north to Taupo. Here's another look at it from Stijn Horst's view in third. Good start from Horst, and he thought about it. Oh, and he's made a mistake. He thought about going up the inside, and you can see the damage to his car. Look at that wing on the right-hand side. on the front, and that is, oh, and off it goes. And Jahorst was very lucky not to get in trouble there. And the young Dutchman is not going to be able to drive very easily there with that. Here's another look at it from Bruno Bonifacio. Look at the debris flying off. Bonifacio didn't move off the line, but that is not going to be easy, and I think he's going to have to come in, the number 21. The youngster, just 19, and he does. So, what a shame, because Stijn Jahorst was on for a podium there, and it's all ended in tears and a new wing. This DHL package is damaged, but it looks like he's delivered it back to the pits, and we'll get it out again. So the order now: Sorellas, Leach, then comes the other Kiwi, Cassidy, then it's Bonifacio, behind him Lucas Auer. So everybody moving up a spot, and a chance now for some big points for all the contenders. There's Lucas Auer, now the championship leader, of course, so he senses an opportunity here in race 2 with that reverse grid, and he's going to try and take advantage of it. It's going to be hard to get past this man, Bruno Bonifacio. His second season as well. Had a phenomenal couple of years. He totally dominated in South America in Formula 3, in the South American Formula 3 Championship, winning, 13 races en route to the championship. Raced here in the TRS last year. Didn't go so well last year, just got one podium in the 5-round run. But rejoins Giles Motorsport, and I think he's happy racing once again for Giles Motorsport, the champions. Now, can Cassidy hold on to that position as we go on board with second overall in the 2012 Southland Car Championship, Damon Leach? Did himself a favour by warming up a little bit and honing his karting skills for races like this. One of the drivers described this circuit as almost as tight as a kart circuit. Nowhere to overtake, and look at Lucas Auer pushing sideways twice there as he tries to get on level terms with Bruno Bonifacio. But Bonifacio, like I said, plenty of experience. His third season in single-seaters, and he won't be pushed by Lucas Auer, aggressive as he may be. But Auer senses now and bouncing over the curves again, and you've got to be careful there. They are infamous here at Timaru. Look at Bonifacio sliding a big darkie around the outside of that left-hander, putting down some rubber, but holding on to the line. Down the back straight they come, and into the loop again. The gap hasn't changed, but if anything, I would argue that Bonifacio and now Lynn and Auer are catching Cassidy. Good race this as we go on board with Alex Lynn. 2011 UK Formula Renault champion, and an accomplished Formula 3 driver, and headed for Prima Power with Lucas Auer this year. Locking up again. It's okay to lock up once or twice, but you can't do it every lap. Those tyres will go off eventually. But that just shows you how hard all of these drivers are pushing here in race 2 at Timaru. Onto the main straight again. Quick look at the board if you've got time. Alex Lynn drops down a gear and into the right-hander. Over the curbs, got to be careful there. That's where Stijn Jahorst got into trouble and broke his wing. No such problems for Alex Lynn. And behind him is a winner already this season in Toyota Racing Series, the rookie Pipo Derani of Brazil. He too will be racing in Formula 3 European Series this year with Felix Sorellas, in fact, in the Fortec team. So there's going to be a lot of familiarity going on between these drivers as they compete here in New Zealand, because they're going to be competing with each other all season long. On board now with Dennis Olsen from Norway, 2011 German kart champion, just 16 years of age. Had a testing crash at Taratonga when he first arrived in New Zealand, so that gave him the wake-up call, but he's been consistent ever since and looking good right now as he battles for 10th position. And he's battling with number 43, Tanan of Thailand, and Spike Goddard in the number 10 from Australia. Haven't seen much of Spike Goddard. He too had a testing crash here at Timaru, but again, recovered from that. The mobile workshop and spare engines and rebuilds helping out the likes of Spike Goddard as we go on board with him in this three-way battle. The Australian looking for a way past Tanak of Thailand. Can't do it round the outside there. And look how much ground he's lost there. And that was inexperience, I think, by Goddard, because there's no way round the outside really there, realistically anyway. And it's actually lost him a little bit of time. But he's regained it again. And these three will continue their battle for a top 10 finish. Tanak, the only one with a bit more experience, perhaps. raced to 14th overall last year. Also nice and smooth. Not a lot of room for mistakes here at Timaru, that's for sure. And another lap completed. And another excellent lap by Felix Sorellas, winner of the feature race, of course, at Tanetonga, and looking definitely like one of the contenders for this year's championship. He hasn't put a foot wrong, really, so far. Damon Leach has kept him honest in the number 3 post-haste as we go on board with the man from New Zealand. 3 New Zealanders in the championship this year. The champion, of course, Nick Cassidy. Damon Leach returning again. And at this stage last year, Damon Leach was very much in contention. Currently looking to stay in the top 6 here as the weekend continues, and this will definitely help him do that. And so far, he's not put a foot wrong. Started well, has held on to that second position. Jahorst put him under pressure until he made that lunge and broke his wing. You'd have to say that was the Dutchman's fault, really, because there wasn't really much of a gap. And Leach was just on his line, and Jahorst just bounced over the curves and lost his wing, and that pretty much lost any hope of a 3rd place. He'll rejoin, I'm sure, but I don't think he's going to get through the crowd, that's for sure. Nick Cassidy, though, might put some pressure now on his fellow Kiwi. Cassidy still in 3rd place, and he's got a little bit of air between himself and Bruno Bonifacio. Bonifacio looking to really start and kick off his campaign. Bonifacio still battling to stay in the top 8 at the moment. Cassidy so far has had a good weekend. And you can see how he's sliding, Bonifacio, and I don't know whether that's just his style, because that's the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen him really pushing to the limit on these corners. Cassidy a little smoother. Great view of what a beautiful day it is here in Timaru. Perfect conditions for racing. Through the sequence just after the start-finish. Slightly up on the curve there, but that's just about right by Cassidy, using all the track to get the drive off the curb and get him into turn 2 and turn 3. Up through the gearbox, 4th gear into the loop. And it's very fast through here. And we've had a few accidents at this stage, in testing especially. Goddard and Leach both crashing out their cars but getting them repaired. So Leach actually recovering well to say he's in 2nd place after that Friday crash. Oh, talking of crashes, that's a big off. And that's Spike Goddard who spikes it into the tyres. Let's have a look. Yeah, he may have just touched, it's either a punch or he may have just touched the grass. But either way, he was sent backwards with his right rear going off track. And as soon as he hit the grass, spun it round and into the tyres he went. And that was a fast impact by the Australian. Definitely out of this one for sure. And that brings out the safety car. And that'll slow things down. No problems for Goddard. He gets out and walks away. And we could actually finish this race under safety, and that would mean Felix Sorellas would win a 2nd race and join Lucas Auer right up there for the battle for the championship lead. And sure enough, the checkered flag comes out, and the Puerto Rican Felix Sorellas wins in Timaru, and Damon Leach and Nick Cassidy are on the podium. The 2 Kiwis make it over the line in 2nd and 3rd, but congratulations to Felix Sorellas.
So Felix Sorellas holds on for his first win of the weekend, with the 2 Kiwis, Leach and Cassidy, behind. Bonifacio was 4th and Auer in 5th, so Auer now just 1 point behind Sorellas in the championship. Lynn was 6th, Latifi in 8th, but a disappointing result for another young driver, Stijn Jahorst.
Because it's so hard to overtake, I knew I had to do it at the start if I wanted to do anything. So I just tried it, and Damon closed the door a little bit, and I hit the curbs on the right side, I remember, and then just the wing was damaged and the bar support was damaged, so I had to come in for a new nose, and then there was not a lot more to gain.
Yeah, it's a good feeling to be leading the championship again, but obviously I can't get too ahead of myself. It's still three weekends to go and a lot of points. Unfortunately, I start 4th for the last race, so let's see what we can do.
Felix was, he got a little bit of a better start, so it was best for me just to drop back into 2nd and make sure we both, stayed on the track. And
with their cars intact, and then carry on from there.
Will Nick, another good consistent finish for you?
Yeah, really pleased with that. I wasn't expecting too much off fifth. That was sort of whole position if we could, but had really good speed, and looking forward to this afternoon.
Coming up, we take a close look at the big curbs at Timaru, and it's the feature race, the Timaru Herald Trophy.
This is the turn 1 and 2 complex at Levels Raceway, a right-left chicane where it's critical that the drivers carry as much speed as possible, clipping both apexes. The problem comes when you miss an apex and you head towards the big exit curb on 2.
So to the feature race, the Timaru Herald Trophy. On pole position, Lucas Auer. Alongside him, Great Britain's Alex Lynn. On row 2, it's Bruno Bonifacio and Felix Sorellas, who has a 1-point lead in the championship. On row 3, it's Damon Leach and Shahorst. Nick Cassidy back on row 4, so plenty of work to do for him. Alongside him, Nicholas Latifi. On row 5, E-Tech Motorsport teammates Akash Nandi and Jan Mardenborough, who was penalised 3 places along with Pippo Durrani for causing a red flag in qualifying. Calderon is alongside Durrani, and then it's Tanat and Cullen on row 8. Tang and Olsen and Spike Goddard and Michael Scott round out the grid.
The feature race then, the Timaru Herald Trophy. Lucas Auer in pole position but on the dirty side of the track. Alex Lynn will try and steal a march in the number 36. Away they go, a little bit of wheel spin from Lucas Auer, and Alex Lynn is off to the races, and into that first corner. In the lead goes the Brit. Good start. Lucas Auer will chase him down. Felix Sorellas jumps into 3rd place behind them, trying to protect his 1-point championship lead. Good clean start then here for the feature race. Everybody cleanly through the opening turns. Damon Leach in the midfield pack, and already Cassidy has lost a place to Latifi in the number 18. So Cassidy with some work to do here if he's going to maintain his top 3 position in the championship. And Stein Shahorst with a fixed car after that crash or broken wing in race 2, battling at the back as well. And that was 17. Ryan Culling just holding off the Irishman, the young rookie, second to last place and just holding on to that position, but back with the leaders. And Alex Lynn. Alex Lynn came here in 2011 and got 2 podiums at Timaru, so he knows this circuit well. Took his only win of that 2011 season in Tenatonga. Alex Lynn, the 2011 Formula Renault British champion. 2012 was an excellent season, which culminated in 2 great podiums at Macau. And that's no mean feat, and he's now come here and is leading the way here at Timaru and putting himself back into contention. And it's his future teammate, Lucas Auer. They're going to be together at Prima in the Formula 3 European Championship this year. And Alex Lynn already under massive pressure from the Austrian in 2nd place. And look at him holding the line there, really clipping the curbs and making sure he takes the most out of this circuit. But he's going to have to fight all the way. Lucas Auer will push him and try and push him into a mistake. That's going to be the tactic by the Austrian. Felix Sorellas likewise will try to do the same, but Lucas Auer pulling away in 2nd as we go on board with the championship leader by just 1 point at the moment, Felix Sorellas. It's been a good start to his campaign, the Don Q sponsored man, and the Puerto Rican definitely looking very, very strong. But he's under pressure too from fellow South American Bruno Bonifacio. And both these two have a similar amount of experience here in the Toyota Racing Series, and expect them to be a factor throughout the year. And look at these 2 distinct battles. Stein Shahorst a little further back, falling off the 2 battles. One for 1st and 2nd, the other for 3rd and 4th place. And just behind then, Damon Leach, and now Cassidy starting to try and see if he can get past Nicholas Latifi, the Canadian, who got past him at the start of the race. And this is an important race for Nick Cassidy because he didn't qualify well. He should be further up. He's one of the fastest men on track right now, chasing that Mitch Evans lap record to see if he can do it here in the feature race. And this is an important race for Cassidy, and likewise for Leach if he wants to stay in contention. And we go on board with Damon Leach, who's put a pretty good performance in so far this weekend. Podium last time out in race 2. and could be odds on for that again if he keeps pushing. But Nick Cassidy trying to get all the drive he can out of the corners to try and get on level terms down the straight, get a bit of a slipstream and maybe challenge Latifi. But it's so hard to overtake here, and you don't need to tell Nick Cassidy that. He's probably got more laps round here than anyone else, bar maybe Damon Leach. Shahorst doing a good job though, holding on to his 5th position. But out front it's Alex Lynn. Could he take a vital win for his campaign? That Teretonga crash in the first round of races really did not help his championship hopes, but this could change everything for the M2 competition men. And M2 yet to win a race. And Alex Lynn, though, in a good position. Lucas Auer will have to think about this one. Oh, and he didn't think too hard there. And Lucas Auer almost lost it completely then, banging over the curbs, and that is so easily a place to go off and get into trouble and out of shape. But Lucas Auer somehow held that together as we go back with Bruno Bonifacio. He's pushing Felix Sorellas. And the pair of them, there's 2 distinct battles here in the feature race. The Timaru Herald Trophy, distinguished by 2 battles, one at the front for 1st and 2nd, and this battle for 3rd and 4th between the 2 South Americans, and it's good. Bruno Bonifacio is definitely keeping Sorellas honest as they go through the 2 right-handers, mostly left-handers at this circuit. Bonifacio likewise needs a good score. He's dropped down the order a bit and wants to stay in contention. He'll need these points to stay in the top 8. Back with Felix Sorellas. 3rd overall in his 2012 Formula 3 season in Britain. And Sorellas likewise is another man looking for bigger and better in 2013 as he joins Forte. He got good drive out of 3, but Bonifacio got better drive as they head towards 4. Here comes Bruno Bonifacio. He jigs towards the inside and takes him, or does he? Side by side into the loop. And this is close, and onto the grass goes Sorellas, and he just saves it. That was fantastic driving from the Puerto Rican. But that was a big moment, and look at this, forcing his way through Bonifacio. And into 3rd goes the Brazilian. At the front of the Timaru Herald Trophy, it's just as intense between the leaders Alex Lynn and Lucas Auer. And Alex Lynn, a slight mistake there, but that's because Lucas Auer is forcing him into these mistakes. He's trying to push him into a major mistake that will give him a chance to pass. And this is great tactics by the Austrian, but Alex Lynn has bags of experience too, and he will not be denied. He's desperate for a win, is the Brit, and he came here to win the championship. There was nothing else that he wanted, because it's no good making up the numbers. He's already raced in this series, as has Lucas Auer, as we go back on board with the British Renault champion. Just 19 years of age, but already a very accomplished career. Lucas Auer, though, look how close he is. And Auer already a winner today. And looking to try and take the lead of the championship again. And that move by Bonifacio has done Auer no harm whatsoever. And if Auer can stay here, he will lead for Giles Motorsport and lead the championship. And that will also help Lynn, because Lynn will move up the table and go into the top 6 if he can win this race. So it's all to play for between the 2 out front. One from M2 competition and the other from Giles Motorsport, the champions. Meanwhile, Nick Cassidy looking to consolidate his 3rd overall in the championship. And again, Lucas Auer pushing the car to the very limit. His team manager must be having kittens back in the pit. This is really hard racing. Oh no! Bruno Bonifacio slows down. Has he crashed? No damage to the car, but he gets back on track. That looks like a mechanical problem, and sure enough, I think that's an engine problem, because he pulled off and pulled on, and he was of course running in 3rd position. Yeah, and I think that little puff of smoke tells you what you need to know, that engine has gone, and Bruno Bonifacio sadly is out of this race. But that helps Sorellas, who's back in 3rd. Shahorst, though, lining up behind him. And behind him, Latifi, then Cassidy. Cassidy setting the fastest lap. A 57.847 by Nick Cassidy. Cassidy on the move. In fact, that was quicker than Mitch Evans' 2010 lap record. Back with Damon Leach. He, too, trying to hold on and get into position. Good opportunity now with Bonifacio going out for Sorellas, for Leach, for Cassidy, and for Shahorst, who didn't finish in the points high in race 2. Back with Shahorst, the Dutchman. And this is really hotting up into an excellent feature race now. Sorellas pushing hard onto the dust and dirt for a moment. And Cassidy desperate to get past the Canadian number 18. But so far, Nicholas Latifi of Giles Motorsport, of course that's Cassidy's former team, is holding him off. Meanwhile, back at the front, Alex Lynn still just holding off Lucas Auer. For how long? Surely Lucas, as they come onto the main straight again to look at their boards, will make an approach. And here it is. Looks to the inside. Got to be careful though. That's where Shahorst made a mistake and broke his wing. Lucas wasn't close enough that time. He's just got to get better drive out of the last corner. Next opportunity is to get the drive out of 3. That's where Lucas Auer will try and see if he can make a move into the loop. But he's not close enough this time. This is an absolutely fascinating Timaru Herald Trophy feature race here. Conditions were wet and windy when they arrived here for testing, but they are perfect for racing now, and Alex Lynn doing a superb job of keeping it on the right line and holding off the immense pressure from his future teammate Lucas Auer. What a summer these boys have got, and I have to say you'd want to follow them all year if this is the racing they're going to give us in Formula 3 as well as the Toyota Racing Series. Lucas Auer is like a dog with a bone. He will not give up, and he's pushing Alex Lynn, and if Lynn does win this race, it will be a superb feather in his cap, because this has been immense pressure right from the get-go. Remember, Lucas Auer started pole, but he was on the tin, led that advantage by having the clean track and got into that first corner and has never looked back. There was Bonifacio's car parked up. You can just see it there on the back straight. Into the loop again. Lucas Auer close but not close enough. The two of them pulling away from Sorellas in third. Lucas Auer again going onto the dirt for a moment. Just getting the drive, and look at him wind his way up there, slingshotting his way through the long left-hander. And into this little right-hand complex, and a little wiggle again from Lynn. And that's where he looks a little bit weak compared to Auer in these twisty bits. Dan seems to have the power out of the last few turns just to give himself enough space to hold on to that lead. And again they cross the line. Into turn 1. Through the gearbox. Third through here. Dropping it down to second now. Bouncing over. It's quite bumpy circuit. And then out of 3, an important corner this to get the drive, and this is where your best hope is for Lucas Auer, but he's not close enough again and have to stay behind the Brit. 2 future Formula 1 stars and teammates in Formula 3 battling it out here in New Zealand, just as the organisers would want. The best of international racing coming here to New Zealand to hone their skills for the summer ahead. We've never had an international winner of the Toyota Racing Series. Could it be one of these two, we wonder? It's certainly going to be a great result for both of them. Alex Lynn, under immense pressure, is going to hold on as they come to the final corners here of the feature race. Lynn comes out of the last corner and takes the checkered flag, the first win for M2 competition, and Alex Lynn of the year. Lucas Auer takes second place and, more importantly, regains the championship lead over Sorellas. What a win, though, for Britain's Alex Lynn. He gets back to winning ways.
So Alex Lynn scores his first win of 2013 ahead of Lucas Auer, but it will be Auer who now leads the championship points over third place finisher Felix Sorellas. Another strong result for Stijn Shahorst, who got past Damon Leach, but Cassidy unable to move ahead of 7th. Durrani moving ahead of Mardenborough and Nandi to take 8th. Calderon and Tanit round out the top 12.
Yeah, no, it was a good start, probably the best I've made out of the series, and I was just really focused for the start before the race, try and get the best launch I could, and yeah, thankfully it was enough today.
And Lucas didn't give up, did he?
No, not at all. He was all over me every single corner. I defended pretty much for the whole 20 laps. No, fair play. I think he had a couple of tenths over everybody this weekend, but you know, the start did the job for me, and yeah, I think some good defending as well. No, it was a good race and I really enjoyed it. Just got to say thanks to M2. They've worked really hard from rebuilding my car since Terratonga, and I think this is a good reward for all the boys.
Yeah, I made a mistake at the start. At the end I couldn't pass him. Still a very good job to the team. Yeah, that's racing.
So to the points after 2 rounds, and Lucas Auer just 6 points ahead of Felix Sorellas. Nick Cassidy still well in contention with 329 points in 3rd. Durrani is 4th, and Leach and Lynn tied for 5th on 282 points. Jan Mardenborough leads the Rookie Championship. The Toyota Racing Series now packs up and heads north across New Zealand's Cook Strait and the tourist town of Taupo in central North Island. We leave the tight technical tracks behind and arrive at a 3.3 kilometre circuit that is open and wide as we reach the halfway point of the 2012 Toyota Racing Series.